she's going to hold out her hand to him for a handshake. And she says, I believe your name is Daniel Lento?
That is correct, ma'am. Grey Warden Daniel Lento. Pleased to meet you, he says as he holds out his hand and gives you a firm handshake.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Warden Lento. You can call me Pasha.
Pleased to meet you, Pasha, he says. And he doesn't seem to react to that name. It doesn't seem familiar to him. He just says, pleased to meet you, Pasha.
To be fair, he would never have heard her called Pasha. She was still going by Rana.
Rana. Perhaps, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I think for Connor's benefit, because they're conscious that Connor's still in the group, so Theoben will kind of say, so, if my reports are right, that is Dirtham, that is Pasha, that is Tyrion, that is Russo, and that's the so adorable, so cute redhead plant genius, end quote.
Oh! She wrote about me? Sort of whispers.
Dirtham just kind of leans and whispers.
All of us, Leon. Get over it.
Also, he's being very sarcastic.
She wrote about me.
It's a joke. Yes, of course.
Connor looks up towards Leon and says, that one's the Circle Mage.
That's the one.
He and I might have to have a chat then at some point, Connor says. We can exchange notes.
You also Circle Mage?
I was. Well, I am, but I mean, I'm attached to her now, so not as much in the circle as before.
Do you have, he sort of gestures towards Sir Garrison,
a Templar? Well, technically I'm one of Cedric's charges, but he has a lot of charges by now, let's be honest. No, the only circle that bounds me now is the one that's wrapped around my finger, he says.
Oh, congratulations, and congratulations to you as well, Kenna.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Dirtham kind of nods. Also, Theoben would probably see that same, smile. He's happy for them, but there is a tinge of,
Oh, I think him and Theo probably have the exact same expression then. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping, since we have guests, that you guys, he turns towards Ken and Baum and Theoben, you guys were able to find something for supper?
Nugs, I forgot the supper. Well, to be fair, there was an attack of Darkspawn, so...
What?
Yeah, so, I mean, it was either get food for the camp or potentially save people from a life or death situation. I mean...
Daniel Lento pipes up, what kind of Darkspawn? The normal...
Muted.
I see. So, they've spread into these woods, then.
Fortunately.
I'm going to have to report back to Fergus about this, Warden Lento says.
If you're looking for food, our camp is a little ways that way.
Really? How much food are we talking here, Connor
It's a
asks.
circus. Literally.
It's a circus?
Yes.
Oh, honey, we could go to a circus, he says, turning to Kenna.
I thought they were just talking like it was a crazy place. I didn't think they actually meant it was a circus.
No, it's
Master
not.
Acknowledged traveling circus.
Yes.
Do they have candied apples? I love candied apples, Connor asks.
I don't know.
I think they did.
They do have candied apples, I can attest to this.
Oh,
It's been ages since I've had one of those, Connor says.
Theo, could we?
Oh, Theoben, please, could we please?
I'm so hungry, Theo.
Tyrion whispers to the guy, everyone near him. I'm not gonna deal with people with diabetes soon.
He turns to Theoben, and she's feeding for two, just so you know.
Oh, don't use the pregnancy angle.
How
How much longer are you gonna milk that cow?
Oh, 3 or 4 months, I think. Oh.
Fine. We can go to the bleeding circus.
Oh, our child will be so grateful.
Just kind of raise a finger.
But if it's a boy, it's named Theoben.
We'll put that on the list. I guess.
And that's
Darren
what
will
we
kind of
were
raise a
about.
finger though.
Well, no offense, but the circus is going to notice you not for your mustache, so...
What are you saying? Are you saying it's going to notice me for my body and not for my mind?
He just kind of like looks up, and he's already almost like 6.5 feet, and Balm towers double of him, and he's just like,
Yeah,
You know, Daretham, I'm more than my muscles.
I know.
Don't listen to him, Balm. Your mustache is beautiful.
I never said it wasn't.
I'm very self-conscious about it, he says.
No, Sir Bomb, what he's meaning is they do not know of, the
Darkspawn.
Yeah. So unless you're gonna find some way to sneak yourself in, that's gonna be a problem.
I have extra ropes, but they're not your size.
We could dress him up like a giant. What's it
They're
called?
going to notice him, Leon. If we dress him like a giant scarecrow, what?
He'll be.
Perhaps a disguise.
Maybe glasses.
I recommend a mustache, but you already have a mustache, so.
Maybe I could dress up as a... He looks around the forest. There's a lot of wood here. Maybe I could dress up as a Sylvan.
Oh, I could help with that.
He looks around the forest. There's a lot of ironwood right here, he says, turning to... Or iron bark, he says, turning towards some of the trees around them.
Oh my, isn't that convenient?
Convenient, he says, turning to Russo.
I was planning on finding some later, but if we're already in a forest full of it...
There's some
Makes it
patches
easier.
over here, he says.
There's probably significantly less of it since Theo's got there as well.
There's some patches over there. I was just saying the iron bark is harder to work with for fashion to a costume. Probably would stick to these over on this end.
Well,
Well, if you're not going to do anything with them, I'll take them.
yeah, I'd kind of look over to Theoben mainly.
I don't know if I would trust the circus with our knowledge, so you're the ambassador. You have more say than I.
I agree. I think we're already going to have enough on our plate with these mutated. Let's not muddy the issue for now.
Do you want a candied apple balm? I can bring you a few.
I'm not able to come into the circus at all.
Probably not.
Hark, it's a long shot, but is there any chance Theo can make a potion that can change his form at all?
Oof.
No?
No.
Okay.
However, Theo could probably use his earth abilities to help shape and fashion.
I could turn him invisible. I forgot I could
Or
do
you
that.
can turn him invisible.
I'm sorry, it's been a while. I could turn you invisible.
what?
That would work too.
It's really no problem.
Daretham, you sleep in the area with all the tarps. Could you maybe sneak out an extra tarp and then just lay it over him, and then he's just a man in a trench coat then?
He's a 12-foot man in a trench coat.
He's two men on top of each other.
To be fair, Connor says, I've been at a circus sideshow where they did have some sort of 10-foot man. So a 12-foot man might not be too much of a stretch, Connor says.
Daretham just kind of looks to Theoben with his eyes going, I defer to you.
And his eyes go, I wish you wouldn't.
He just kind of shrugs.
Well, Lady Hannah, if you can then... Lady Kenna. Oh my god.
Kenna, how long do you think you'll be able to make him invisible for?
I think that you're going to have to make a roll and that'll determine how long. But
shoot.
But I mean, it's for a while.
Brag is that?
It's for a while.
Yeah.
If it's like an hour at least, we're probably okay.
Pretty much, like, he's invisible until he attacks something. So as long as he doesn't attack anything, he's kind of good for, like...
But But can he still interact with things? Like, could he touch a candied apple and things like that?
He can. Yeah, he doesn't disappear physically.
Here's a question, though. Does eating a candied apple count as attacking it?
No.
Because he's dealing damage,
No, it's like consuming a potion. Like consuming a potion does not make you break out invisibility.
But it would be
we don't care about the feelings of candied apples, Hark?
But we do. But it would be a problem if we just see like just someone doing this, like munchy munch. You know.
I don't know. I guess we'll just have to come up with some crazy rumor that it's haunted or something.
Oh.
Yeah, who would say something like that?
Leon?
I don't know. Anyone who had the balls to do that, I'd give them mad.
Leon, if you start mentioning the candy apple,
hearing that, I would kind of look over to Leon.
Didn't you convince the circus of the circus demon?
That is a heinous rumor, and I had nothing to do with.
Hey, Bomb.
I didn't.
Get off my lawn real quick. Like, please, just say that.
Get off my lawn?
Perfect.
Oh,
okay,
you sound just like the circus demon.
Anyway, it's best then we get going then. I look over at Pasha and Daniel as...
I'd kind of look over to Pasha and just say,
do you want us to give you a moment?
I don't think that will be necessary. Would you care to accompany us, Warden Lento?
Of course, he says. I am very curious about these candied apples you speak of.
Then we will have to get you as many of them as you can eat. And she's gonna start leading him back.
Theoben's gonna approach Death. He's gonna say, is she all right?
Well, it's her story to tell, but allegedly Daniel Lento is her son.
Oh. So no.
Kunari Devinter.
All right. Well, if she needs anything, just let us know. We can make ourselves scarce if she needs some time alone.
I would like to go up to Rousseau, and if you have a moment, could you talk to Pasha? I don't think that I'm right to talk to her, but she seems like she's hurting.
She is. Just, I don't know what any of us could really do to help.
Yeah. I don't think this is a winnable situation, but...
Oh,
well,
I'll talk to Lento.
Yes, please do.
And when we get back to camp, you're gonna have to, prep you and Rosie.
Oh, I have so many things to do. I don't even have a better set of clothes. This is my best set so far, and it already has a few holes in it. Oh, no.
You know what? I'm just gonna pull out like 10 silver for you. Get something real nice. It'll help.
I did just get like 5 gold from my family, so I think in their
silver.
Oh, why? Thank you, Rousseau.
Okay. If you need more time, I'm gonna have to talk to both Kenneth and Theo about Balin when we get back. So
we all have our own issues. It looks like. Oh no.
All right. Now, do us all a favor. Keep a straight face, and don't give yourself away anymore.
I'll try.
Oh, and quick note, I love how Theo, Ben, and Daretham, it seems like they've almost instantly been like, okay, I get you.
Yeah. I had a feeling they would be like that. Like, obviously I've like watched you guys like on YouTube and the stuff that you've been saying about Daretham, and I just feel like him and Theo are gonna be on the level.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so on the way back, Tyrion pulls someone aside.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of walk to Pasha, like, is Pasha next to like Daniel all the time as we're making our camp, or is she like?
I think she'd be trying to keep as close to him as possible without seeming too weird.
Okay.
if you get what I mean.
Yeah, so Tyrion kind of moves up. Pasha,
Tyrion?
you do know also about the part. Is it him?
I think so. I believe so. My heart says it's him.
Then you know that I must listen in
Why?
to confirm about Darren. I will not interrupt. I will not do anything. I will just listen. That's it. If he mentions anything about his life in Tevinter, about how he got away,
You misunderstand me, Tyrion. I have no intention of bringing up any bad memories for him, and I would prefer if you didn't. If he has put the past behind him, and if this is what he needs.
understood. Then I will step away and I will not anger your rage.
Thank you.
As he moves away.
Sam, if you're gonna turn Bomb invisible, just roll me a magic roll, please. Straight up magic roll. And I think with your... I feel like you get a bonus of at least +2, maybe +4 when you're using your bracer, if I remember correctly.
Killed it.
Yeah. Okay. He's gonna be invisible
Told you.
for the next 24 hours as long as he doesn't quote unquote attack anything. And I'm gonna say that one of the people who sees you first is going to be Master Ignaldo. And when he sees the group approach, he rushes out and he says, "By the Maker! If it isn't the Guardians of Earth and Aether," he says. And this very ostentatiously dressed man, who, based on his uniform, you can tell is very much a part of the circus, and looks like he is most likely the man in charge of the circus, approaches you. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Master Ignaldo's circus. I don't know if you've ever been to one of his circuses, but I think you know who he is at least.
Ah, Mr. Ignaldo of Master Ignaldo's Fabulous Circus.
You know me? By name. Oh,
By reputation, sir.
of course, of course. To what do we owe this grand visit? Did you come to see some of our animals? Did you come to partake in some of our performances and live shows?
Well, I have a pregnant woman here who would really like to partake in some candied apples.
Yes, we're here to review it. So if they're terrible, your circus is going to go down in flames.
Oh, yes. I would love an endorsement from the Guardians. Insert his theme song right here.
Money.
He says, and it looks like you've brought other guests, he says, looking at the Grey Warden and at Connor. Pleased to meet you. My name is Master Ignaldo. A friend of the Guardians is a friend of mine. Please come, and I think we can probably get something for you in the mess.
Wonderful.
Is my daughter here?
She usually runs in.
And Darren would point out the cabin that Rosie bunks in.
Correct, which is Mayan Ty's and Darren's. Mayan Ty and Darren.
I thought Darren moved to Violetta's cabin.
Oh,
when
did
came
she?
back.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
you're right. I think she did. So sorry. She is now in Violetta's cabin, yes. Shortly after you arrive at the circus, you're going to hear a very familiar hoot, 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 hoot.
Oh, I look around.
You will look around and you will see Acorn, who, by the way, has been the person who has been sending you all of your messages.
Oh.
So Acorn's the one that's been coming back and forth and sending, from like Rosie. The reports from Rosie have been coming from going through Acorn, and honestly, a lot of other like people who are trying to contact you eventually goes through Acorn, and Acorn can filter some of them. You can inform Acorn that's like, hold my message from this person, hold the messages from this person, stuff like that. However, there is this one message that Acorn has for you, like wrapped around its leg, and if you bring it up, you immediately recognize the seal. It's a Tevinter seal.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, this again, and you open it up, and it is yet another invitation from Amarin for dinner. And it's basically like, hey, Miss Kenna, Guardian of Aether, do you remember me? We had a lovely dinner the other night together. I was wondering when you were coming back to Vinter again. This time I promise you we'll make the proper accommodations for Esbjorn, etc., 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 blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to say while you're reading this message, Tyrion happens to be passing by in your view.
I'm imagining Tyrion right now. He has no one really. He's looking at all of these people kind of gathering up in a meeting, and he's just kind of sitting by, just watching as he kind of just patrolling a bit, just looking around and watching the group and the people talking and all that.
Another letter from Mr. Porfax. Yes. Excellent.
And he hears that Tyrion just freezes. He's like. He turns around Kenna, and he's wide-eyed, he's in PTSD mode right now. His eyes are wide up. His mouth kind of drops a bit, he kind of tries to shake from excuse me, Lady Kenna, as he approaches her.
Yes, you're right.
I am. Fine. And he's not fine. He's definitely not fine.
Is it that demon ghost that they were talking about? Did you see
that
it?
one. No, that's a myth. That was created by my good friend Leon. That's wild redhead. No. I heard you call it a name. A certain Mr.
Yes. Porfax.
And he freezes. And his eyes are kind of...
It's like he who shall not be named.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. And he's instinct, he's afraid. He seems frightened. Yes.
You're not the Tyrion, right? The one he's always talking about. I hear you make great tea.
Yes. Yes, that is me.
Alright, calm down. Relax. It's okay.
Can we take this privately, if that's alright with you? I do not wish this to be...
Of course. Let me just grab one more candy apple.
So he takes a little bit away from the main area where everyone's kind of gathered up and doing all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am young Tyrion, his tea maker.
Ah, he had many compliments. He said that he lost you.
Lost me. Lost me. Such a term.
Yeah. Guessing it wasn't as friendly as a relationship as he was hinting.
No, he's not what he says that he thought. He thinks that what they say, they complimented me all the time.
Oh yes, constantly, always comparing you to the other servants that he had.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah, they were never good enough. that it's never quite right, that, I mean, nothing but praise for you.
Praise? Praise? Praise.
Yes.
And he's going to rip like his bandages from he has like these long bandages go up and he's gonna rip them away as he shows these scars kind of show from his arm. Is this praise? Is this what it is? Praise? This is what they did to me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. He's a complete awful person. I usually was rejecting his letters constantly. He's an awful man, and this is beyond.
Awful, oh, he is awful. Awful to the point where he did this to me as he kind of he has like this linen shirt kind of removes a little bit away and there's more bandages under that shirt. 19 years I spent under that man. That man. Every time I made just even the smallest mistake, he would use that whip on me. Take me to the back, away from all the other servants, everyone else. Screams, pain, slash, all of it.
I'm so sorry. I can't. If it helps, I don't know if it will, but I am in talks with Calpurnia, and she's planning on removing slavery from Tevinter. We've been working together to rid Tevinter of slavery. This, if it goes well, will never happen to another person.
He has his hands kind of just... That would be helpful to all. I'm sorry for how my position is right now. I'm just... 19 years I spent under him. It has not been well for me. I may have survived all of the torture, all of the pain. But not my mind, no.
Of course not. What you've gone through, if it helps, I could put in a word with Calpurnia, and perhaps Mr. Fairfax could have a fall from grace within the Imperium.
I don't know. As much as that would sound justifiable, I have something in mind.
Oh?
I may be here for now. I may be right now with this group to help them out with our matter, but there's a time where I must return to the Winter. To Amran.
Face your demon.
Yes. My worry on that though is, unfortunately, it is not legal. Even though I already escaped him once. And that I might return and challenge his authority.
Tyrion, I again cannot even imagine what it is you're going through. Facing him though, if putting all the legal stuff aside, and your challenge, exactly what do you hope to accomplish in your revenge?
Guess that could be the term, but no, I tries to calm down a bit because he's visibly shaken. This may sound wrong in so many ways, but Amaran deserves something far worse than just a fall from grace. I had desired that I wanted to go back and teach him a lesson of sorts. That is why I wanted. I'm out here. I've left his home to learn, get some knowledge, experience, and maybe some help on the outside. At some point, I must go back to him. I must challenge the authority of that he is Magister. But my interest is not to murder him, no. That is not on my life. I do not believe that death is an answer that I would feel justifiable. Only two things can bring what I feel safe for not just me, but for all slaves that were under him. Prison or tranquility.
An interesting choice.
I know. You probably are thinking about how to disagree with me on that matter, I know. I know,
No.
probably. No?
That... It's your pain, your experience, your choice. I think I would only warn that as someone who carried a lot of hate, it does take root and it does affect you in a lot of ways. It's a seed that seems impossible to remove, like a weed that keeps coming back, no matter how many times you try to remove it or try to be better.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's why I decided to become a doctor.
That's good though, bringing that into the world after so much pain.
I just didn't want to be like him. To be cynical. Or selfish. Even though I think one of my companions here would disagree with that.
Is that you're selfish?
Intervinter, have you ever heard of a slave hunter called Darren the Ratful?
Yeah, I'm aware of her. Yeah.
She's here. She's in this carcass. She came after me in the barrow. Chased me and tried to capture me, return me back, so she can get her freedom, her citizenship. She was fulfilling her whatever contract she had with her master. We managed to persuade her to leave that behind, and now she's here.
Wow. That must be an interesting relationship.
It has calmed. We have calmed down as far as I know, hopefully. We have not talked about, well, except for the part about me returning to the winter maybe, but we have not talked about much due to, well, I am stopping her from getting her freedom. So, I believe that she might think I am selfish, that I'm just, I cared for myself and tried to escape from her grasp and not go back to the winter. But I guess that's how it is. But that's another reason why I want to return to winter and to Amaran, partially. I'm a doctor. I'm here to help people, and even though I have to return back at some point, I thought maybe I can do something good on it. Maybe she could give me off and, she can get her freedom and I can do what I have in mind.
I mean, forbid me to tell you how to do that. But I mean, I think it's important that you do face him. With all that, it's important to face pain like that, or it'll continue to gnaw at you. Just be careful.
I'm always careful. Sort of.
I meant
Sort of.
more with when you face him. It's easy to do the wrong thing sometimes. It feels good at first, but you might regret it later.
He kind of sighs. Did you have that experience before then? You regretted the choice you made?
I was faced with it, and I feel like I face it every day. With the Darkspawn, they did a lot of bad against me, and even in their awakened state, there's an instinct inside me that I have to fight to stop myself from doing wrong, to enacting revenge or vengeance. I mean, there's times where I wake up in the dead of night and I hear screams of my people, I smell blood, I hear sword clashing. Despite that, I got them back and things are better. That pain never really disappears, that trauma,
The
I
memory,
guess.
the trauma, yeah. I know.
And when I look at them, it's that seed. It's there. It's tough to let go.
You wanted to end them so you can get hope for your some semblance of knowing for your people.
Exactly. But I fight that to be better, like you do with being a doctor, wanting to bring good instead of bad. This repeated cycle of killing. But it is an instinct I have to fight. And forgiveness is probably the hardest thing to do. And it doesn't take away what happened, of course, but it does alleviate the guilt, I suppose. It does help rising above it, acknowledging it, accepting it. Because in the end, it's not worth feeling that hate, Because if it makes you, the way you feel right now, the way you reacted, he'll always be at your back until you face it and overcome it. And however you do that is on you, but it's worth trying to let it go, to ignore the instinct and forgive. Because look where it's brought you, the people you're around, the person it's made you. Pain is difficult and terrible and awful, but damn, does it make us into good people sometimes.
I guess you're right, but he sighs. I just don't know. I may be surrounded with people that I can trust. All of them, all these people around here, I trust them. Even Darren. As much as she can take me at any time. I trust her still. Because that's what I am. The reason I'm afraid right now is because Amron has been popping up around. Names and mentions of him for quite a while. That is why I believe Return to the Winter is the option I have. I can't run away. I already did that. I thought it worked, but it didn't.
You can't run forever, Tyrion. You gotta face them. Just,
and that's what
trust yourself.
He nods. Since you're in contact with the Archon, may I send something to her?
Of course.
I would like to send her my experience under Amaran. Full account. Why he did what he was.
She will listen. She's good.
Thank you, Lady Kenna. And he gives a bow.
Oh, Lady Kenna, oh, fun. Hi, Baba.
I am a gentleman in my no.
Okay, so Theo would go to the cabin wherever
Sure.
he's pointed to.
Do you knock? Do you swing open the door? What do you do?
I don't think Theo's in the mood to knock. I think he'll just open the door.
You'll open the door, and I'm going to say that you'll see both Rosie and Mai and Tai, the conjoined twins. They seem to be sitting across from each other, having a bit of a chat. And as soon as the door opens, Rosie turns to you and says, "Dad, what a surprise, you're here!"
Hello, and he'll walk in and he'll pretty much just walk straight for her and wrap his arms around her, kind of pulling her into his chest and kissing the top of her head. How are you doing? Are you all right?
We're doing great. Oh, Dad, let me introduce to you, I guess, my roommates. This is Mai and this is Tai. And Mai and Tai looks immediately at the bracer and says, "Oh, wow, it's the Guardian of Earth himself. Oh, we're a big fan, Mr. Theobin."
Thank you very much. It's good to meet you. Have you been taking care of my little girl?
"Oh yeah, she's great. She's very easy to talk to. Yeah, and she's really knowledgeable. We've been learning a lot about plants."
Oh, she gets it from her father. But he'll turn to Rosie and kind of under his breath a little bit, he'll say, "Have you been having any migraines? Anything at all?"
I had a couple over the last month when there was one when we were sort of fighting a dragon in a cave. Well, I wasn't there for that. I helped to move rocks so they could get to the dragon in the cave.
Okay.
And I got a migraine. And then I got a little bit of a migraine when Aunt Andrea and Uncle Cedric were helping us fight another dragon at the White Spire.
Right, well, you don't need to be fighting dragons. That's your party's job. He brushes her hair aside and he's feeling her forehead. He's being very mother hen.
Well, to be fair, I wasn't directly fighting him. I was sort of making Mr. Rousseau... I was helping him get closer up in the air because, the dragon was flying. So,
You know how worried I've been with the lack of reports lately. I had no idea where you were, what you were doing.
Yeah, I've been. I'm sorry, Daddy. A lot's been happening. There's a lot been happening, and there's been a lot of distractions. I mean, just a lot's been happening.
Too busy to talk to your father?
No, it's not that. At this point, Maya and Tai, they seem to be looking at this conversation, and she says, I think we're gonna go and find ourselves a snack. Yeah, let us know if you want anything, Rosie or Mr. Theobin. Would you like anything from the kitchen?
Yeah, I'll take a candied apple, I guess. Kenna likes them, they might be okay.
Oh, sure. We'll be back. See you soon. And they duck out.
Yeah, that's fair. So he'll kind of take a seat, I guess, on the bed or wherever there's kind of a...
Sure. Yeah, there's more furniture in there. I just didn't put it in. There's more
that's
furniture.
Fine. He'll say, Rosie, come on,
Daddy?
you know how it worries me when you don't write. I mean...
I know.
How else am I supposed to know that you're okay?
Well, I know it's just we've been really busy and
Rosie.
Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. I will write more and make it a point to at least carve out some time at the end of the day to make sure I write.
He'll reach out and kind of take her hand and give it a squeeze. It's only because I worry for you, girl.
I know this is my first mission, and I think I've been doing really well. Miss Dartham, he's been at his best behavior, and he hasn't butchered a single, well, darkspawn with that I know of.
It's a curious bar, but I'll take it. He puts another hand, like he's got both hands covered on hand. I know that you're growing up, and I know that I can't be there for you all the time. But what we went through, I lost you, and you lost me. And I just don't want anything like that to happen again.
I understand. And I'm really appreciative that you trusted me enough to go on this quest by myself, and I'm really sorry that I know that part of the conditions was I was going to write to you, and I'm sorry that I haven't been writing to you recently.
Well, you're okay now. I'm glad. But watch out for those migraines, though. If they start flaring up, what you need to do, it doesn't matter what's happening with the party, what's happening out there. If you're in pain and you need to step back, then you need to do that.
I know, and the good thing is one of the group's a doctor. Mr. Tyrion is really good at what he does.
Yes, I do. I intend to talk to the doctor about things. Well, actually, the party that you've been traveling with, they all seem interesting in their own ways. Haven't had a chance to talk with all of them yet.
You should.
Sounds like I may need to have a chat with a certain specific someone in the party. Do you think?
Dartham.
What about this so adorable plant genius that I keep reading about?
So adorable plant genius.
Your last report.
Oh, you're talking about Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you should talk to him. He's super nice, and he's really smart too. We actually just came back from his home, his childhood home.
You went to his house?
Well, yeah, because well, his parents were killed there, and he needed to I guess he needed some closure. I watched him burn his home to the ground afterwards. It was really sad.
I see. But there's nothing in particular I need to know about you and this boy Leon?
Well, we've been teaching each other about about plants still. He doesn't know as much about the poisonous ones, so I've been teaching him about that, and he's been showing me a little bit about, a lot of knowledge about magic and some of the stuff that they were learning about these dragons that they're hunting.
Can I read anything in particular on her face when she says that?
Roll an empathy.
Okay.
All you notice is that there is a certain shift in her overall spirit whenever she talks about Leon. Like her eyes light up, and she just seems a little bit more excited just talking about like his and her interactions in general. She seems genuinely happy during that part of the conversation. Like the previous conversation was like heartfelt and stuff. But this definitely like makes her seem like this topic is something she's very excited about and passionate about.
So you like this Leon then?
He's nice. He's my buddy, she says. We're very good friends.
something you're not telling me, Rosie.
And then she gets really shifty-eyed, and this is where, I mean, you can tell when she's hiding something.
Yeah.
When she gets shifty-eyed, like, she cannot, it's very difficult for her to lie to you.
Rosie, I'd like to think that you can talk to me. I'm your father. If you can't tell me, who can you tell?
So, you know how really painful those migraines are?
Yeah.
Take that, multiply it by 10. That's what it feels like whenever he leaves. When he went into the forest and didn't take me with him, that was 10 times worse than any migraine I've ever felt. Does that... I don't know if you've ever felt that way before, yourself, but it hurts a lot.
I see. And does he, too, feel that pain?
I don't know. That's a good question. I never asked. Really? Do you think I should?
I think you need to think about what's right for you. I think... Rosie, a lot of people lose themselves in love. It's natural. It's normal. But you need to work out if that's what this is. I mean, you've spent a lot of time together. And when people spend a lot of time together, feelings do flare up. But you need to work out if that's what it is, or if this is something more long-term.
But the mission is still number one, right? You can't put your mission or your job or your work, that has to come first.
I don't know if it's either or. I know that when you were young, we had a mission, the Guardians and I, and, well, that's not actually true. You were my mission. The whole time we were traveling to different places, seeing new things and fighting, it was all for you. And I put that ahead of everything. And so when somebody I really cared about told me they loved me, I turned them away because you had to come first. I wanted to be a good father above everything else. She died shortly after that. Never got a chance to tell her. The mission matters, but it can't be the only thing. Otherwise, what are you fighting for?
That's a good point. You know, there's a hole in my head, right? Because that's how... When we filled the hole with my amp, it opened up this new world for me. Like, I suddenly had this new force, this new power, this new magic. And then later, I didn't know at the time, but there was also another hole in my heart that didn't get filled until I met you again and reunited with you. And that opened up a whole new world, a whole new energy, a whole new magic, meeting you. I feel like now, Dad, there's another hole in my heart too, and I just can't help but feel like Leon might open up a whole new world and a whole new power as well. But I don't know if he feels that strongly about me in the same way.
Well, he's an idiot if he doesn't.
I guess what I'm trying to say, Daddy, is even if there's another hole in my heart, it doesn't replace the other one that I had with you.
Rosie, I know that we didn't get off to the best start when you were little. And I know, no matter what, I'm not a very good replacement for your mother. But I like to think that we grew closer as time went on, and that you could talk to me if there was anything going on. I'm a little girl, and you always will be.
Thanks, Dad. That means a lot.
I'd still like to have a conversation with Leon, though, just to...
You should. He's really nice, she says.
Yeah, I think we'll have a bit of a discussion over a drink at some point.
You should meet his best friend, Mr. Bunn.
I think you mentioned a Mr. Bunn in the reports.
Oh, well, I think it'll be a pleasant surprise then, she says. Mr. Bunn is very quiet, though. He's a good listener.
Does it have to be Leon, though, that fills this heart? The boy seems... he was queasy looking at Darkspawn. I mean, is that the kind of person you can adventure with?
Someone that's queasy looking at Darkspawn? I mean, do you not get scared of, well, the unawakened Darkspawn?
I think any dwarf worth his salt is scared about what the Darkspawn are capable of, but I've spent a good lot of years spending time with them. I suppose all I'm trying to garner is whether he has the ability to keep you safe if you decide not to live with me in Ferelden.
Well, Leon's a great healer, and he's definitely saved a lot of us in the past, so I'd like to believe so.
Does he worship the Maker?
I don't think we've ever touched on that. I don't think that ever was brought up in natural conversation.
I mean, you're not going to forget the stone.
No. Of course not. And if we have kids, she says, if we have kids, they definitely will follow the stone, she says.
That's good. And they can always come see Grandpa Theo. But we're not talking kids, right, in any near future.
Maybe not in the near future, but it would be nice to have, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6, I'm thinking.
Oh, right, Rosie. Okay. Well, I mean, I suppose dwarven fertility being what it is, we could use all the help we could get, I suppose.
Well, it's not like I'm going to go to Razakale level of having kids.
Please don't. Well, I'm glad we had that talk.
Yeah, I'm glad we had that talk too, Dad. Buddy, she says, giving you a playful punch on the shoulder.
You're still my daughter, not my buddy.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
All right. Well, do you want to come into the canteen area? You can see Aunt Kenna.
Aunt Kenna's here too?
She is, and she's brought the Bump and Connor and...
Uncle Connor's here too?
I'm sure they'd love to see you.
How about Esbjörn and Laquisha and...
Well, we couldn't fit everybody onto a traveling circus, to be fair, so...
That's true. I feel like Master Ignaldo would see dollar signs if he saw Laquisha or any of the Sylvans for that matter.
Yeah, but if you get back to visiting us more, you can see all of them.
That sounds great. We might even be heading over to Ferelden soon. So,
Good.
If we do, maybe we might swing by the breach. Who knows?
Oh, you should. I've got big plans for that business, believe me.
Maybe we might even be able to see King Kine as well.
Hey, maybe. I think he's on his 17th honeymoon at the moment, but who knows? He might be free when we head back.
That's true. 17th honeymoon. Maybe I should ask King Kine for advice on this stuff.
No. The king is far too busy to deal with your love life. No. I think perhaps a less is more approach to your romantic acclivities is best here. If Leon is worthy of you.
Did you bring the diagrams, Dad? She says that enthusiastically. See, most people are like, ugh, diagrams. But Rosie's like, yay, diagrams.
I know, but it's the one person he doesn't want to show them to.
Yeah, exactly. She's the one.
I left the diagrams at home. I think they're in my silk robe. I'm very sorry.
Oh, well, that's a bummer. I know you would be really excited to share those diagrams.
Yeah, shame.
It's so unlike you, Daddy. You always seem to have them.
Well, I was getting my midday massage, and I guess I just forgot to pick it up, before my late afternoon massage.
Wait, midday massage? Who is giving you massages? Kenna?
Oh, Balm's really good at them.
Who?
Oh, you haven't met Balm. Blue mustache.
So now who hasn't been writing to who? She says, leaning in.
Well, I didn't know I had to let my daughter in on everyone I wrote to.
Well, it seems like you have somebody massaging you every morning, and I don't know. I guess it's none of my business, but...
Oh, you're right. Fine. Fine. I will write to you everything that happens in my day-to-day, and you will do the same. But I suppose that does lead me on to a conversation I wanted to have with you at some point. The thing is, here's the thing. The thing is, I feel like I maybe haven't been entirely honest about who I am.
Okay.
Nobody, Rosie, you must understand, nobody could ever replace your mother. And
okay.
I loved her. I've always loved her, and death didn't change that. Never doubt that, okay?
Okay. What are you trying to say?
That the way I felt about her, I also feel about other people, and not all of those people are women.
Oh. She starts thinking again. Uncle Hugh?
What about Uncle Hugh?
I know you guys are very close. And you definitely been spending a lot of time together since all your adventuring. I didn't really think about it much, but now that you're telling me this, I don't know, I'm just curious.
I mean, there are many, well, not many, but there are some people I have those feelings for, and Hugh is one of those people.
Wow.
But this isn't me telling you, Rosie, that I'm in a relationship. I'm not even sure if I'm ready to start dating again, but it's just so you know who I am as your father. Something I've had a hard time coming to terms with.
She very quickly reaches over and grabs your hand, gives the hand a squeeze, and she says, looking right into your eyes, she says, "Thank you for telling me, Dad. Thank you for telling me."
There. Now we can say we're completely honest with each other. Okay?
Okay. She'll give you a smile and give you a hug.
Pasha is probably she's keeping an eye on Daniel. She's let him go, but she's like forever one carriage behind, just following him.
Excuse me. Hello.
Oh, yes. How can I help you?
I just, wanting to talk. I brought you a candy apple, if you'd like.
Under normal circumstances, I would love one, but not right now.
Honestly, I was hoping you'd say that. I really want both of them. So, but I thought I'd be nice and offer. Do you have a moment to talk?
And she'll look over at Daniel again just to make sure, can I see him? Is he all right?
We'll say an eye line if you'd like.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
So I'll pull her away so that she can still see. Obviously I didn't get the whole story, but it sounded like you lost him.
Lost would be one way of putting it. He was taken.
That sounds even worse. How long ago was it?
I was 19. So in 4 years' time, I believe that would be the 30th anniversary.
Why? I couldn't imagine that pain of a child. And she sort of, puts her hand over her belly. But as someone who found someone who I thought was lost forever, I sort of recognized what you were going through when you were meeting him again. That reunion, I guess. And I didn't know if we don't know each other, but I recognized that fear, apprehension, maybe a better word for it. Surprise, shock. I just wanted to check in with you.
That is incredibly kind of you. I will be fine. I will be. Right now, I just want to look at him. And that might sound incredibly strange and a little bit weird and creepy, but he was 9. And he was so little.
No, I get it completely. When I lost a lot of people, and specifically I lost my brothers. And when I found them again, after never believing that I would see them, it's to see how much they change in your absence. It's an odd feeling. And I was very hesitant when I saw him. I'm not saying this is how you feel. Obviously, two different people, two completely different situations, but I did not feel worthy to be in his life again. Especially seeing how well he was. I mean, if he was so good without me, what place did I have to enter into his life again? But a little bit of advice is that don't let that fear stop you from being in his life again. It's a blessing and a second chance, and you have to take that fear and turn it into strength, courage, maybe be a better word, because it's honestly a second chance, and people don't get those very often. And while it may take time to talk to him, try not to let it take too much time, because it's fleeting and you never know when you're going to lose them again. You know?
Your brothers, did they recognize you when you met them again?
I'm a bit difficult to forget, but yes, they were older when I lost them, in their teens, troublemakers. Even worse so when they got older, but yes, they did.
My fear isn't that I won't fit in with his life, but rather he won't fit in with mine. I am Kunari. And the Kun is very different from all of this, and I can, after all he has been through, I could understand why he might be hesitant. I don't know.
I get that you're Kunari, and you and I, as far as our living situations and our beliefs, are probably 180 completely different. And yet we're both bonding over the same pain and loss, you know? I think when it comes down to it, love is universal. And you should put all that aside and give it a shot. The rest of it is semantics and can come later. But you should allow yourself and him the chance to reconnect, even if, you know, as terrible it might sound, even if he doesn't remember you. The fact is he was a part of you, and you are much a part of him, and you both deserve to have that.
Thank you. It's strange talking to someone who has gone through something similar, I guess.
I'm happy I could give some wisdom. I don't know if it was worth anything, but I'm glad I could talk to you and help out, even a little. Fall to your friends, talk to them too. It's easy to try and handle it yourself, build up a wall, but those people who you're with, friends, family, whatever you call them, fall to them, allow them to comfort you, because it's a tremendous weight to try and bear yourself.
I think a grimace passes over Pasha's face. It's a very proud look and a kind of like a kind of thing. And if I can't deny there's wisdom in your words. They may not like them, but If it gets too much, then perhaps, maybe.
If it helps, I talked to a bear for a long time before I opened up to my people. So maybe you could fall back to Valor. Baby steps. He's very eloquent. She is very eloquent.
I wish I could talk to her properly like you do. I know she understands me. I know that perfectly well, but
I wonder. I don't know if it would work, but the only reason I'm able to do it is because I had a gift from, and I, show her my staff. It's been passed down, for generations. It might be possible for you to use it to talk to her. I'd be willing to let you do it.
Pasha recoils at the staff. I assume you know how the Cune feels about magic.
Oh, it's not magic, it's just Avarian stuff. We're very in tune with the land. It's, drawing in from nature. It's all natural, I assure you. No magic. Templar approved. I don't know if you met Cedric, but I don't think you would just, let me walk around with this stuff that was magic,
Can I roll an insight?
Sure.
Pasha has believed every lie everyone has ever told her, so...
Avarian magic is basically the vegan magic. It's the vegan magic. It's all natural, organic magic.
100%. 100%.
100% pure. Go ahead, roll your empathy.
That's perception?
Or,
Yes.
Yeah, perception, empathy.
10.
You're not going to draw anything from that. You're not going to draw. Yeah.
Well, if it isn't magic,
Nope.
then there wouldn't be any harm in trying. And I think Pasha's, again, one last look at Daniel, and then she'll indicate which compartment Valor is in, and in a kind of like, shall we?
I'll go with her.
I'd like to think we got back to camp. Everyone's doing like their whole thing. Would this be possible to happen in parallel while Pasha was talking to Kenna? Like I just walk up to Lento while he's doing some stuff?
Sure. I'm going to say that Daniel Lento is probably, honestly, currently in the mess area, like eating with Connor and them. So yeah, he's probably eating. He probably has a candied apple. I'm going to say he tasted it, and then it sticks to your teeth. Yeah, he says, it does. It's very, very sweet, Daniel Lento says. And then he's probably going to take another bite and then decide that it's enough.
Excuse me, is this seat beside you taken?
No, go right ahead, Warden Lento says.
So, how long have you been riding with the Guardians, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, we've been in contact for several months since I first met them. I was with them when we first discovered these mutated darkspawn back in several months ago, and it hasn't been until more recently, within the last couple of weeks, that we have been traveling together, trying to investigate these darkspawn further.
So, could I just call you Daniel, or do you prefer your surname?
Warden Lento would be wonderful.
Good. Warden Lento, sorry if I'm coming off a certain way. This is my first real time talking to one of your organization. What made you decide to do the join?
Originally, believe it or not, I actually was looking into becoming a Templar. actually. I made a friend while I was in Orlais. Nazim was her name. We got to be rather close friends. And, she was talking about the order, and at the time I was a guard in Orlais, and I thought that that job line of work was fulfilling, but I wouldn't say it would be fulfilling for long term, and I thought that joining an order like the Templars would be more interesting. And then I ended up meeting some of the Grey Wardens and started learning more about them and their cause, and I, despite the fact that there wasn't currently a blight at the time, I was very intrigued by some of the other work that they were doing. So I was actually conscripted into the Wardens in the last few years.
I get this is a bit of a long shot, but it was made apparent to me someone I used to know had joined your order.
I might know the person's name.
Yes. You probably noticed I don't look like the average Cunari by race. I've got a couple features that are off.
I did notice that, yes.
Yeah.
I can presume your origins, but I don't want to necessarily make assumptions.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. Just, my brother's the full breed of the other half of me.
I see. What was your brother's name?
Just gonna turn with a completely straight face. Corin.
By the Maker. Warden Corin was the one who conscripted me.
When did you last see him?
I would say a few months ago. It wasn't a particularly pleasant moment in time, but several months ago, yes. He was having a bit of an argument with my superior.
Okay. Is he with you and Theo and everyone else on this? Like, is he aware of the Awakened?
He is, and, well, he very much is against the Awakened. I don't know if you know, but currently the Wardens are split into... I don't want to refer to it as a civil war, but that's what people are starting to call it. There's a group of Wardens, Grey Wardens, who are aware of the Awakened and are very much in support of the Awakened Darkspawn. And as you can imagine, there's also a sect of Grey Wardens who are aware of the Awakened and are 100% against everything that we are trying to do. My superior, Fergus, is the lead of the one sect, and Corin is the leader of the other sect of Grey Wardens.
Okay. You've helped me out quite a bit. Is it possible we'd find him in the Deep Roads when we go there, or is he completely elsewhere?
I don't know for sure. I have no reason to necessarily believe that he currently is in the Deep Roads. If you were to ask me, I think that realistically he probably is still at Weishaupt currently. Do you have intentions of visiting your brother? If so, I think going to Weishaupt would probably be your best bet.
I do, but I'm a little worried it won't be the friendly reunion you think it is.
He can be a bit abrasive. Like I said, my last encounter with him was not 100% friendly. Not against me, but more against Warden Kuzland.
Visible thumping of his fingers on the table.
I don't blame Warden Elren. He's told me stories about his past, and I know that one of the biggest reasons why he signed up to become a Grey Warden is to find closure. There's a specific darkspawn that he's looking for to essentially have his, I guess you could call it justice, have his justice with this darkspawn. I think it's turned into a bit of an obsession. I mean, what are the chances? There's so many darkspawn are out there. What are the chances that he would actually run into the one that he's looking for?
Bit higher than he might think.
You seem very optimistic then.
I've had some knowledge to reinforce my guesses.
Fair enough. I will leave it at that then.
There's one other thing I wanted to prod on while I have you, Warden Lento. What do you think of that woman that approached you?
The one that's named Pasha, you mean?
Yes, Pasha.
She seems very pleasant. She has been very accommodating to us, making sure that we're well fed and we have everything we need while we're here at the circus.
She is one of the most kind people you could really hope to meet.
I'm not surprised by that. Why do you ask?
Because without realizing it, I'm kind of your brother.
I don't quite understand. As far as I know, I didn't have any other siblings.
Oh no, heavens no, not by blood. See, I've met some people, and I know Daniel Lento's very shortening of the name Dandelion.
He looks a little bit surprised by this. That is what I was used to be referred to as, yes. That used to be my name.